Hi guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with A Couple of Bees Read.
And we also like to do Book of the Month predictions. This list is going to get a little weird because there's a couple that we're pretty sure are going to be aardvark picks instead of Book of the Month.
Yeah.
But we'll let you know when we get to those.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that was on my radar was The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. In the near future, a civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams and is shortly afterward told what project she'll be working on. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible for the body, but also for the fabric of space-time. So it's science fiction, but it kind of melds a lot of different genres.
Right. It's kind of the Ministry of Time. Every time I read it, I want to say the Ministry of Magic. It gives me a Harry Potter vibe, the title does. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Perfect Little Monsters by Cindy
RXT.
Okay. Eleanor is the most popular girl in high school. And like every popular girl, she has her enemies. Then she's murdered at her own party, and all eyes turn to the new girl, Dawn Foster. So what's going on there?
Yeah, so
sounds interesting.
Nice little young adult thriller. I would read this book. So
definitely. And I've never read Ruth Ware, but I know you've read several of hers.
Yes. One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. She is very popular with them as like an add-on usually. Mm-hmm. I feel like they've carried almost all of her books.
Right.
So One Perfect Couple, Lila agrees to go on a new reality show, One Perfect Couple, with her boyfriend Nico, an aspiring actor. Lila and Nico must compete against 4 other couples on Ever After Island. And after the first challenge leaves everyone angry, a storm cuts off the contestants, and their game show suddenly becomes this life or death scenario. And Ruth Ware is fantastic at raising the stakes. So the idea of like a closed door mystery written by Ruth Ware, I would be very excited for this.
This would be one I would read because I am a huge Survivor fan.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I don't like a lot of other reality shows, but I've watched Survivor from day one. Mm-hmm. And this, I don't know. I know
Were you almost a contestant on Survivor?
Yes, actually I was. So that was sad I didn't.
She got shortlisted.
I did get shortlisted.
And then one that I've been seeing all over Instagram, 5 Broken Blades by My Corland. Mm-hmm. The god King June rules over Unsent with a merciless immortal hand, letting nobles thrive, and everyone else is in ruins. To overthrow his rule, the 5 deadliest blades in the land band together to murder the king, but killing a god requires more than the desire for revenge, forcing them to learn to trust each other. So a good team book, but also like super cool action.
But in the end, only one can sit on the throne. So how are they going to decide who that one is?
And it is listed as an epic fantasy romance. So those out there who love your fantasy romance, here you go.
The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. This one sounded very interesting to me. There's 122 villagers and they're on an island with 3 scientists. And, the villagers all do, live the farm life, and they do everything to the exactness of whatever the scientists say. And then one of the scientists comes up dead, and they have 92 hours to figure out who murdered the scientist, what happened. But unfortunately, everyone's mind, all their memories are gone, including the murderer. So the murderer doesn't even know they murdered somebody. So, and I guess they're all going to be destroyed, or something's terrible is going to happen to all of them if they can't figure out who the murderer is. So I don't know, but it sounds interesting. But to me, I really think this is more of an aardvark pick.
Yeah.
I look at the cover.
And they haven't posted their hints at the time we're making this.
So their hints don't help me. I'm just going to be honest. I look at those hints and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Their hints help me because I go to the comments and find like where other people have guessed, and I'm like, yes. Good guessers.
Yeah,
Good guessers.
Okay, yeah, not me. Better Left Unsent. I thought this one was very interesting. It's Millie, who's the main character. She has a very public breakup, I guess, with her boyfriend, and she, in order to deal with this, she types emails every day, but they go into the draft folder. She never sends them to anyone, and then something happens, and all the emails that she's been typing go out to everybody in her list, and now she's got to deal with everything that everybody's reading, all of her secret confessions and things, so, and I personally think this is also would be an aardvark.
It looks very aardvark pick to me.
Yes.
Kind of with the themes of
what they
books. I also noticed Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel, who I believe they've carried her books before.
Yes. It sounded familiar.
So it is Ganga, Goddess of the River, leads a joyful life taking care of the mischievous godlings who roam her banks. When their antics go too far, Ganga is cursed to become a mortal. Marrying King Santu, Ganga works to regain her freedom, only to be forced to leave her son behind at the last moment. When Prince Devavrata refuses to accept his father's throne, he sets in motion an unstoppable chain of events in this mythology retelling about the unbreakable bond between a mother and her son. So also great Mother's Day book from the sound of it.
Right. Yes, definitely. Now the summer will be different. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Looks like a Becky book to me. Lucy's a tourist and she's vacationing where? At a beach house. And everybody knows the beach is my favorite place. Prince Edward Island. And Felix is a local guy who shows her a very good time. And there's only one problem. Lucy doesn't know that he is actually her best friend's younger brother. But if she's your best friend, why wouldn't you know?
Maybe it's a half brother. I don't know.
Maybe she's off to college and they hadn't got that far. So I don't know. Anyway, they have great chemistry, but there's so many reasons they should stay away from each other, and they say they're not going to repeat their one night stand. But
every summer.
Yeah. This summer will be different. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think that's a Becky book.
And then The Return of Ellie Black by Emiko Jean. It's been 20 years since Detective Chelsea Calhoun's sister vanished when they were teenagers, and ever since she's been searching for signs, closure, or other things. From what I can tell, it's why she became a detective.
Right.
Then a local teenager, Ellie Black, who disappeared without a trace 2 years earlier, is found alive. But something isn't right with Ellie. She refuses to talk about what happened. And Detective Chelsea Calhoun has to unravel this mystery.
Now, that sounds very interesting to me.
This would be my pick, Aardvark, if you pick it. We can fight over it.
Yeah, well, I'll just borrow yours, so something.
Well, actually, this might not be my pick, because if the other one's up...
Yeah, well, that's true.
If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay. I've been an Alex Finlay fan since he first started writing, and he actually, we both lived in Opelika for years. I never met him, but in my brain, we share the same spirit because of that. But I've enjoyed all of his books, and I was really surprised when the new book of the month had a picture of an envelope, which is very similar to this new book cover. In my opinion, he's one of the best thriller authors in the genre right now.
Okay.
So If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay, if that's an option, we can toss a coin as to who gets which thriller.
Yeah. Well, we'll just each get one and share.
Yes.
So, Splitting Gold. It's a debut novel by fans of Sarah Waters and Sarah Penner.
Who's been a Book of the Month
picked before, in 19th century Paris. And I love books that I will read a book just because of where it's set. Paris, Tuscany, New Orleans, if it's at the beach, I mean, I'm going to get it and read it. It's a gothic mystery with romance in there. It's about two sisters who are spirit mediums. One is celebrating, the other one is supposedly is a fraud, and they come back together to do a con. So we'll see. I mean, it sounds fun, but we'll see.
And the last that we picked was Heavenbreaker by Sara Wolf. And I had a really hard time finding like a good blurb for this one, so bear with me. In Sonali van Hoteclair's world, blood is all that matters. In a massive space station that houses the last of humanity, the king rules. Nobles dance, commoners starve, and when they aren't starving, they watch the riding tournaments between giant robots called steeds, once used to war against the enemy. So this king is not such a great guy.
Right.
But Sonali is his bastard child. And the book, from the what I've been able to read, it begins with her killing the king. So it's supposed to be a really cool revenge thing. It's being compared to Hunger Games. They're saying that Sonali is the new Katniss Everdeen.
All right.
So we will see if this sort of science fiction-y, post-apocalyptic world is picked up by Book of the Month.
Well, this sounds interesting anyway.
Yeah.
And if it's a Hunger Games type book, I loved Hunger Games.
I know. All right, so that's our list this week, guys. Hopefully,
what do y'all think?
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments.
All right,
Bye.